Hello, and welcome to Learn Spanish on SpanishDict.com. I'm Paralee Whitmire, your teacher. Today you'll be learning about basic introductions and greetings like Hola, ¿cómo está? Me llamo, y mucho más. ¡Vámonos! One of the main reasons a person learns a new language is so that they can talk to people that they wouldn't normally talk to. And one of the best ways to practice a new language is to talk to people. There are thousands of people at SpanishDict.com who are ready to speak to you in Spanish or English, so let's get started. When you find someone that you would like to start a conversation with, it's usually polite to say something like, "Excuse me," right? You can't just butt in and start having a conversation with a total stranger. So to say "excuse me," you could say, "Perdone, señor." If you were speaking to a man, "Perdone, señor." And if you were talking to a woman, you could say, "Perdone, señora." Perdone, señora. Are you ready for your first practice? How would you say "excuse me" to this man? Bien, perdone, señor. And how would you say "excuse me" to this woman? Perdone, señora. Muy bien. If he or she looks your way, then you know you have an opening for a conversation. He or she might also say, "Hola, buenos días." Hello, good morning. Hola, buenos días. Now, if it's not morning where you are, he or she could say, "Hola, buenas noches." Hola, buenas noches. This is your cue to start a conversation. When someone says, "Hola, buenos días," or "buenas noches," it's your turn to respond, and all you have to do is repeat what they just said. So if I say, "Buenos días," what do you say? Muy bien, buenos días. And if I said "buenas noches"? ¡Qué bien! Buenas noches. Afterwards, you can ask each other how you are feeling. This is an opening for a little more personal conversation. To ask "how are you," you say ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? Now, Spanish has two ways to speak to a person. Formally, which I just taught you, ¿cómo está? And informally, if you were going to ask a friend, a close family member, or someone younger than you, you could say, ¿Cómo estás? This is the tú form. ¿Cómo está is the usted form. We'll get to the differences between tú and usted in a later lesson, but for now, since you just met me and you would like to show me a little respect, ask me how I am by asking, ¿Cómo está? Estoy bien, gracias. Estoy bien means I'm fine. Gracias, of course, means thank you. There are lots of other options for ¿Cómo está? Let's take a look at a few of them. Estoy mal. I'm not well. Estoy mal. Estoy triste. I'm sad. Estoy triste. Estoy feliz. I'm happy. Estoy feliz. Those are the basics, but remember, if you're meeting a person for the first time, it's just polite to answer, "Estoy bien, gracias." You can also ask them how they are doing, but you don't have to repeat the whole question, ¿Cómo está? You can just say, ¿Y usted? And you? I'll ask you how you are feeling. Tell me how you feel by saying, "Estoy bien, y usted?" And then I'll tell you how I'm feeling. ¿Listo? ¿Cómo está? Estoy bien. Gracias. Perfect. But as I'm sure you've noticed, Spanish is a good bit different from English. And in Spanish, nouns and adjectives have gender. They're either masculine or feminine. I'm a woman, so my adjectives have to be feminine. Let's take a look and you'll see what I mean. Estoy enojado. I'm angry. Estoy enojado. Estoy enojada. I'm angry. Estoy enojada. Estoy cansado. I'm tired. Estoy cansado. Estoy cansada. I'm tired. Estoy cansada. Estoy confundido. I'm confused. Estoy confundido. Estoy confundida. I'm confused. Estoy confundida. Did you notice that all of the adjectives that describe the men ended in the letter O, and all of the adjectives that describe the women ended in the letter A? This is a very general rule for masculine and feminine in Espanol. So if I give you an adjective and it has an O on the end, but you're a woman, then all you have to do is change the O to an A. Or vice versa. If I give you an adjective that ends in an A and you're a man, all you have to do is change the ending to an O. Let's practice with a few. Would this person say, estoy ocupado? I'm busy. Or estoy ocupada. Estoy ocupada. It's a woman. What about this person? Estoy aburrido. I'm bored. Or estoy aburrida. Estoy aburrido because he's a boy. You've learned a lot of vocabulary really quickly, so let's practice a dialogue using everything that we've learned so far. You start by saying, "Excuse me, ma'am." I'll respond and keep the conversation going. This time when I ask you how you are, you can respond using any of the adjectives that I've shown you. ¿Listo? Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo está? Estoy cansada. Gracias. Ahora we have the introduction to a great conversation. But let's get to the names. You already know my name. Me llamo Paralee. ¿Cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama is what is your name? And you can easily respond by saying me llamo and then your name. Let's try it again. Me llamo Paralee. ¿Cómo se llama? Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto means nice to meet you, and it's a great thing to say to someone when you first meet them. To respond, you could say igualmente. Igualmente. This means that the feeling is mutual. Let's practice the dialogue again. Me llamo Paralee. ¿Cómo se llama? Mucho gusto. Perfect. You've learned so much already in just one lesson, but before you head to the practice section, let's have a dialogue with everything that you've learned so far. You start with, "Excuse me, ma'am." In Espanol, I'll respond and keep the conversation going. Try to respond to my questions as best you can. ¿Listo? Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo está? Estoy bien, gracias. Me llamo Paralee. ¿Cómo se llama? Mucho gusto. ¡Qué bien! Es todo para hoy. You can practice everything that you learned here at SpanishDict.com/learn. There you'll find picture vocabulary flashcards for all of the words in this lesson, as well as games, writing, and speaking activities. You can also practice what you learned in the forum and on the video chat. If you enroll in the course, we'll keep track of your points for you, and you can compare yourself to others on the leaders board. As always, everything at SpanishDict.com is completely free. So until next time, hasta luego y adios.